The day before yesterday, we started about our Parangurudev Nittarila Parishtavam Vishnupada Stotrashata Shishimad Bhakti Dayita Madhav Gosvami Maharaj on his appearance day about his glories and teachings. Yesterday also we continued, and today also I would like to remember something which I heard from Gurudev or read. Once it happened, our Parangurudev had many disciples in Assam. And you know, in between there is Bangladesh. You have to go around. So with train, it takes long time. If you go with flight, not so much, but with train, long time. So once one disciple from Assam, he requested our Parangurudev, my father died, so you please come and make that Shraddh ceremony. Then my father will be benefited. Then Parangurudev said, I have some program in Calcutta, that annual festival or something was there, some program. So I cannot come, but I will send some my disciples or representatives. They will do. Then that Assamese disciple again requested, yes, that is okay, but if you personally would come, it would be very good. Then my father will be very much benefited. Then that date was fixed, and our Parangurudev was in Calcutta, and he sent 3 persons in his name. That is our Gurudev, already sannyasi that time. Then Krishna Keshav Prabhu, he is a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sometimes he was cooking also for Prabhupada. And after disappearance of Prabhupada, he was preaching together with our Parangurudev. Then, now she came. So I will just, in short, otherwise story will not go. I am continuing about the glories of our Parangurudev. So he had many disciples in Assam. One disciple requested our Parangurudev to make Shraddh ceremony for his father who just died. Parangurudev said, I cannot come because I will be in Calcutta at that time, but I will send some of my representatives, they will come. Then disciple again said, if you would personally come, it would be very good. It would benefit my father, so you please come. Then Parangurudev was in Calcutta. Then he sent our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, sannyasi already, and Krishna Keshav Prabhu. He was cooking for Prabhupada. He's disciple of Prabhupada. He was sevak, he's sevak, one of the sevaks of Prabhupada. And later on, he joined with our Parangurudev in preaching. He was staying in our mat in Puri, birthplace of Prabhupada, till his last days. I also had that fortune to meet him there. So very pure devotee. Our Gurudev used to bow down to him after Arati every day. So, and another one, Mangal Maharaj, also disciple of our Parangurudev. So these 3 were sent to Assam to attend that program. But the problem was the train has to go to reach Assam, has to go around Bangladesh. And there was some delays, like 10-hour delay. So they came later there. And when they were approaching that house, they saw all the people, devotees, already they were washing their hands and throwing away their prasad plates after taking prasad. And they did not, these 3 did not go near that Mangal Maharaj said, oh, you see, they already did everything by themselves. They did not wait for us because we were so late. So now it is better we should not go there. It will be strange. Then our Gurudev said, no, we have to go. Otherwise, what we will say to our Gurudev? He will ask us, how was that program? What we will say? Then Krishna Keshav Prabhu agreed with our Gurudev and said, yes, we have to go. What will happen. Let us see. So they came there and they said, oh, we see already you had program. Actually, our train was late. So it was, we are sorry, we could not reach in time. So who was doing the ceremony? Then they said the Gurudev came, means Parang Gurudev. Then they were all surprised. And they showed him, yes, Gurudev came, and there he was sitting, and then ceremony he did, and then he took prasad, and he left. Why you are asking? Then they were surprised, what is this? And then they also took prasad, and then after that they went back to Calcutta, and their Parang Gurudev was there. And they asked other brahmacharis of the mat, yesterday, who was giving Harikatha here? They said, Gurudev was giving Harikatha. Why, you are asking? He was giving Harikatha, doing Sankirtan, everything. Then they were more surprised. How this is possible? They are telling he was there. And they are telling he was here. Then they came to the room of Parang Gurudev, and our Gurudev asked him, means he told him, we went there, and they said, you came and did all the ceremony, and we were late. Then Parang Gurudev just smiled, did not say anything, only he smiled. Then again, Gurudev said, but we also heard from devotees here that you were here and giving Harikatha here, so we cannot understand what happened. They are telling you were there, they are telling you were here. What happened? Then Parang Gurudev again smiled and he said, you came a long way now, so you take bath now and you take prasad, you take rest. Means he did not want to discuss that topic. So it happened that Sarup Vyuha, pure devotees, they can do that. Sarup Vyuha, expansion of their Sarup, they can be present in many places at the same time, like in Krishna Lila and also in Gaur Lila, that is by Sarup Vyuha. In Jaiva Dharma you will find. I also heard Srila Bhakti Vedanta Bhaman Gosai Maharaj, he also showed this pastime. He was present in two places at the same time because disciples, they were eager here and there and they were crying. So he was present in two places. So that is possible for them. So then another pastime our Gurudev used to repeat many times in 47, 48, like that India was not yet fully independent, and also that Bangladesh was about to go separate, East Pakistan. At that time, Parang Gurudev had one preaching program in Bangladesh. And there was a big pandal, and half Muslim, half Hindus, they came, many thousand. Then Parang Gurudev saw many policemen there. Then one policeman told to our Parang Gurudev, actually now there is political tension. So, and this is also Muslim predominant country. So you be careful what you speak, because everyone is watching you and they are hearing. If you will say anything against the interest of East Pakistan, that means Bangladesh, then you will be arrested. So be careful what you are speaking. Then Parang Gurudev was thinking, okay, if I will be arrested, then it is difficult in prison, then that untouchable foot is there. So he started Harikatha. He first requested all audience, if you have any questions, then you please don't ask in between. You ask at the end. I will give time in relation to the topic. But if you have any question of some other topic not related to the topic which I will speak, then at my place I can reply to you, because Parang Gurudev was thinking maybe they will ask such questions, awkward question, then what he will say about you are supporting this side or that side or something. So Parang Gurudev said the speaker will not be happy if he has to deviate from the topic, and other listeners will also not be happy. So I request you keep your questions for the end. Then okay. Then Parang Gurudev speaking Harikatha. Then in between, after some time, one Muslim stood up. Swamiji, why you are coming here to Bangladesh? To preach about this Bhut Parast, this worship of idols, or that idolatry, this. What is why you are coming here to preach that? Then all others were disturbed, and they said that already Swamiji requested you give question at the end, not now. And they said to Parang Gurudev, you need not reply because you already requested. Then Parang Gurudev thought, if I will not give a reply, then they will think I have no reply for that. Then Parang Gurudev said, no, you don't be disturbed. He's a Muslim, he's a learned man, and if I will answer his question, I will not deviate from my topic, so it will enrich my topic. Then Parang Gurudev asked him, do you believe in God? He said, yes, Allahu Akbar, God is great. Then Parang Gurudev said, do you believe that Khoda or Allah has some power? Then he loudly said, God is almighty, has all powers. Then Parang Gurudev smiled and said, you see, this is the answer to your question. Then Parang Gurudev said, I will ask you one more thing. You say God is almighty, so do you believe that God, that was Mymensingh district, God can take one Mymensingh elephant and can push him through the eye of a needle to that side, and again from that side to this side without harming him? Is it possible? Then that Muslim was silent. He did not know what to say. Then Parang Gurudev said he can do everything. It is stated in Shastra, God is Sarva Shaktiman, he is omnipotent. So if once we accept that he is omnipotent, then we cannot put any condition on his powers, that he can do this and he cannot do another thing. Otherwise it is useless to say Sarva Shaktiman. And he quoted one verse from, I don't know which, maybe Padma Puran, Kartum Akartum Aneta Kantru says that verse. God can do, and what he can do whatever he likes, and he need not do what he doesn't want to do. He has that power not to do, and he can undo also. Like in computer, you are writing something, and then you can press undo, so it will go back. So God can do undo. Like he can make one earthquake will be there and so many people will die. He can undo that. He can bring back to the state which was before. Can undo. And he can again do what he undid. One verse is there, I think from Padma Purana I can find there. So Parangura said, like that, God, by his own will, he can do whatever he likes. So God can appear in this world in any form he likes and still be omnipotent in that form. So God, in order to fulfill the desire of his devotee, he accepts a form, deity form, and Sanatan Dharma prescribes the worship of that form, that is transcendental spiritual form. Sanatan Dharma never prescribes idolatry, idol worship. Means we make any material form, or we may conceive with our mind some form. That will all be idol or matter. That is not deity. That is not Shiv Vigraha. So Sanatan Dharma never prescribes this kind of worship, but prescribes the worship of deity. Deity is Supreme Lord himself appearing in that form because of devotion of his pure devotee to accept his worship. But with these material eyes, we are unable to recognize. It is the same as if God personally appears in this world as avatar. If we don't have devotional eyes, we cannot recognize who is he. Like example, Hiranyakashipu, he saw Nrsimha. He saw that miraculously he appeared from pillar, not from born from parents or something. Wonderfully he appeared. Still he could not understand. He thought this is some strange animal. Let me kill it. But those who are, Prahlad Maharaj could recognize, oh, Supreme Lord came. So like that, deity is Supreme Lord himself, Satchidananda. And it is possible. If we say it is not possible, then we don't accept that God is omnipotent. And he does this pastime. Mahaprabhu also told, Nam Vigraha Sarup Tin Ekrup, Tin Abed Nahi Tin Chidanandarup. There is no difference between God's name, his deity form, and his original form, Sarup. No difference. All are Tin Abed Nahi Tin Chidanandarup. They're all transcendental, full of bliss. That is why they are self-effulgent. You cannot grasp with these material senses. Only one can realize by his grace. He explained to that Muslim there, then everything was okay. And similarly, it happened in Hauli, that is in Assam. Similar program, half Hindu, half Muslim, many. Again, Parangurudev, he requested, you please save your questions for the end. Again here, after some time, one Muslim stood up and said, Swamiji, you are speaking about Atma Paramatma. Who has seen Atma Paramatma? You are deceiving everyone here. No one saw Atma Paramatma. You are deceiving everyone here. Yes, you are deceiving us all. Then Parangurudev, our Gurudev said that Parangurudev was never disturbed. I never saw him disturbed. Always he had a smile on his face and always practicing Trinadapi Sunichana Tarorapi Sahisnuna Amanina Manadina, giving respect to all. Then Parangurudev said, you are a learned man. So before I reply to your question, I would like to ask you something. I think means I see you are having something in your hand. What is that? Then that Muslim said, yes, I have this book. Then Parangurudev said, what is the name of that book, title of that book? Then Muslim read, This is the title. Then Parangure said, how I can know that you are not deceiving me? I can see from here, my eyes are okay, and I know many languages, but how can I know that you are not deceiving me? That you are telling the right title of the book? Then that Muslim called some other Muslims to check, and all others, they said, Swamiji, he said the correct name. It is true. Then Parangure said, how I can know? Maybe you all together are trying to deceive me. How I can know? My eyes are okay. And I know many languages, but I cannot see that title. Then that Muslim asked him, then what do you see? Then Parangure said, I see as if one crow stepped on ink, and then he stepped on that book there. This is what I see. Some dots, some lines like this. It seems to me like one crow ink. Then that Muslim, he said, Swamiji, do you know the Urdu language? Then Parangure said, no, I don't know Urdu language. Then that Muslim said, then how you can expect to know what is the title, whether it is correct or not? First you should learn Urdu language, then you can understand whether it is this or not. Then Parangure smiled and said, you see, this is your answer. Same is with seeing Atma and Paramatma. You need to learn that. You need to acquire that capacity, that qualification to see Atma and Paramatma. My eyes are okay. I know Bengali language, I know Hindi language, I know Sanskrit language, I know English language. My eyes are okay. Still, I cannot understand those letters of Urdu language, that Arabic letter, you know, some dots like this. I cannot understand. Like that, one who did not attain qualification to see Atma Paramatma, he cannot know. Based on his own sense experience of this world, he cannot know. But there are two types of vision. One is Veda Chakshu, by knowledge, and there is this Pratyaksha Chakshu, that direct sense perception. So that which is beyond the sense perception, you can see only by their grace, their self-revelatory. So you have to accept that process, then you can see. Then again, they were all pacified. Then another thing our Gurudev used to say, it is his own example. Of course, our Gurudev is playing the pastime of being sadhak aspirant to give us teaching. Our Parangurudev came to Gwalpara in Assam, that is birthplace of our Gurudev. Because there Prabhupada also used to come, and he had some disciples there. So Parangurudev, there was a program. So one friend of our Gurudev, he told him, let us go and hear Harikatha. So our Gurudev went there, and he said, I saw so beautiful, big forum, golden forum, and he was speaking Harikatha, and that time I could not understand what he was speaking, this Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatashta Shakti. I never heard such words before. I could not understand much what he was speaking, but what I understood is that he's a Krishna Bhakta, and I want Krishna Bhakti. I need Krishna Bhakti. That I understood from that first meeting. The next day, again, that friend said, let us go to that person's house where Swamiji is staying. And Gurudev said, I was afraid, but I knew that man because he was related to our family. So they went, and Gurudev said, when I saw outside, they were drying clothes and they were saffron color. Then I became afraid. Again, I wanted to go back. But that friend said, no, we came up to this point. Why you are afraid? Let us go there. And another one also, the father, someone who knew, he also said, yes, you have to come. So then Gurudev, our Gurudev, he paid prostrated obeisance to Param Gurudev, and he said, I felt such shower of blessing on me that was coming from my Gurudev. Then I asked him one question, that in my house, I'm doing some meditation. I have some portraits, Shiva and this, all different. So I'm doing meditation. So when I'm meditating, then I feel now God will come. Then, and our Gurudev was joking, before joining Gauriya Math, I thought attaining God is very easy. It will come soon. But after joining Gauriya Math, I came to know it is not so easy. So he asked Prabhupada, I think God, I feel now God will come. But then I become afraid, if God will come, then I will have to leave this world and I will have to leave all these relations. Then this thought makes me stop meditating. I'm afraid. So what I can do to not stop meditating at that time when such thoughts are coming? Then Param Gurudev very affectionately, they already know each other from before. They are doing lila here in this world. So Param Gurudev said, you see, once there was one lake there, and there were sometimes some say ducks, some say geese. But anyhow, point is the same. Our Gurudev used ducks. Then they were living there in one, I think English word is swamp or something, like some small pond. And they're living there. Then one day they saw some big swans, white color. They were flying above them. And those ducks, small ducks, they were seeing them and they were attracted. Oh, they are so beautiful. From where they are coming? If we would also be at that place, we would be such. They are of our species, but they are so beautiful and so strong, and they are flying very high. Then they were wondering. Then one of those swans came down, and they flocked around, and they said, "Where are you coming from?" And swan said, "I'm coming from Mansarovar in Himalaya." Not that Brindavan Mansarovar, Himalaya. Very beautiful place. Then the duck said, "Can we also go there?" Then Swan said, "Yes, for this reason I came down here, out of pity for you, out of compassion. I came down because I saw you in what kind of place you are staying, very filthy water." But then they said, "But we are unable to fly so far." Then he said, "I can take you on my back. That is why I came down. You come with me." Then the duck said, "Yes, okay, but whether there these worms and shrimps and these things are available there, we can get for our food." Then Swan said, "No, such filthy things are not there. There we are eating the stems of lotus flowers. That is why we are so strong and beautiful." Then, because of their attachment to that thing, they they were unable to go. No, then how we will survive without these things? We cannot go. So then Parangurudeva is saying, like that, we are now in this world, and we are attached to these non-eternal things. We are not seeing the real thing, or how that is making us suffer, but we are so much attached. So when from spiritual world, those who are really beautiful and strong and happy, they come to take us to that plane, we are unable to go due to our attachments. So what we can do, then Parangurudev gave that verse, Tato Utsrijya Sat, that verse from Bhagavatam. Therefore, those who are intelligent, they will reject bad association and associate with realized souls, pure devotee sadhus, because their words, backed by realization, those strong words, will be like a sword. They will pierce, or they will cut all those knots in our heart, those attachments. So that association you have to take and hear Harikatha, then you can give up all those attachments and wrong perceptions like this. Then they were corresponding through letters, and our Gurudev asked him many questions. Then Parangurudev told him, actually, to get answer to all your questions, you should read Jaiva Dharma. Then our Gurudev went in Gwalpara, in that village, to library to see if Jaiva Dharma is there, and the librarian said, yes, one copy is here. And till now, no one requested this book. You are the first one. So then Gurudev took and read Jaiva Dharma, and he said, really, all my questions were answered, all my doubts were removed. Even those questions which I could not think of asking, they were all described there. Then our Gurudev decided that he will accept, and he also asked Parangurudev whether I should renounce house or I should stay in house, worshipping in house. Then Parangurudev said, if you want to stay in house, that is okay, you can worship. Then you can take that job which is offered. Otherwise, if you want, you can also come to stay in Dima. Then Gurudev thought, if I will stay at home, because they were not devotees, maybe I will have some difficulties in worship. So then I decided I will join the mat. And he said to father, I am going to see one friend in Calcutta. Did not directly say, but also did not lie. Our Guru said, I did not lie, because really, real friend is only Guru. Our real friend. So he said, I'm going to see one friend in Calcutta. Then father said, okay. Then again, when Gurudev reached Calcutta, he asked Parangurudev that I am still not sure whether it is good for me to renounce household, because it is true that I'm seeing these are all non-eternal relations. So I become indifferent, but sometimes I'm also thinking of enjoyment. So I don't know whether in this state it is proper for me to renounce. I have this weakness in my heart. Then Parangurudev said, no conditioned soul in this world can say they have no weaknesses. But Supreme Lord is almighty, all omnipotent, all powerful. He has no weakness. If you take shelter of him, then you can, he can help you overcome all weaknesses. Then our Gurudev said, I felt he wants me to join the mat. But then again, another thought came. My father has some special affection for me. He was taking care of me, and if I will go, then he will be depressed, and whether I will commit sin by just living. Then Parangurudev said, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mamikam Sharanam Braja Ham Tan Sarva Papibhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. You give up all these relative dharmas, but exclusively surrender to Krishna. By that, you will do real good to all others. By that, you can pay back debts to your father, mother, and everyone else. Then, Gurudev felt that Parangurudev wants him to join, so Gurudev came to Dimat, was staying. Then, after some time, all of a sudden, Parangurudev told him, you immediately go through back door. You go out from the mat and you go to Mednipur, Shyamananda Gauriya Mat, which was established by Parangurudev and Shanta Maharaj before. Immediately you go. Then Guru said, I could not understand why he's telling me this all of a sudden. Then Gurudev went to Mednipur. Later on he came to know that maybe after 1 hour or so, 40 members of his family, father, mother, and so many others, 40 members, they came to the mat to take Gurudev back to the house. And even they brought that girl with whom Gurudev is supposed to get married. They all came there to fetch him. Gurudev said, if I would be there at that time, it would be difficult for me. So Parangurudev, he could sense that Parangurudev is personal associate of Krishna, so he knew. So Gurudev said, he rescued me. It would be difficult for me if I would be there. So Gurudev was in Mednipur. There he got Harinam, initiation, in Mednipur Mat. And our Gurudev, after getting Harinam and chanting, for 3 days he was in ecstatical symptoms. Whole time chanting and like mad. Not externally aware, others told. Then one night, 1 a.m., in that Mednipur Mat, Gurudev, like mad, he knocked on the door of Parangurudev, and Parangurudev, surprised, he came out. He said, what is happening? And then Gurudev full dandavat to him, and he asked him, what mantra you gave me? What mantra? Like, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Prakashananda Saraswati said to Mahaprabhu, why you are dancing and like a madman singing? Then Mahaprabhu said, what I can do? Gurudev thought I am full, I cannot study Vedanta. He gave me Harinam to chant, Harinam. So I was chanting, then I became mad, what I can do? Then I came to Gurudev, I asked him what kind of mantra you gave me. I became mad. Then my Gurudev told me, yes, this is good. You developed Krishna Prem. This is good. You go on chanting and you make others also chant. So what I can do? Mahaprabhu said to Prakashananda. Then they felt this is something more than what they had. So like a similar, our Gurudev, 3 days. And then he asked, Gurudev, what kind of mantra you gave? So for some it is different. Depends on background. So our Gurudev saved me that time. Then Parangurudev, also in Assam, the chief minister, he invited our Parangurudev to his house. Then Parangurudev said, I can come to your house under one condition, that you will daily hear Harikatha. Then that chief minister said, okay, I will hear. In the morning from 8 to 9 I have time, I will hear Harikatha. The Parangurudev, he was explaining that, our Gurudev told, he was explaining Raya Ramananda Sambat in that house, in detail. And so many pastimes. Also, Parangurudev, he spoke on his appearance day, that Guru Puja day. he explained, I heard in Hindi some days back, another one, he said, like in Sanatan Dharma, children should respect parents. Once it happened, Parangurudev had one house program of some rich there in Calcutta, some high. Then those householders, they said to Parangurudev, our son is now going to London to study or for a job, I'm not sure now. So you please bless him that while on the journey there will be no problem and he can be successful. Then Parangurudev said, he should bow down to you. You are his parents. He should bow down to you, pray for your grace, then everything will be okay. Then the child did, boy did, and then it was okay, prasad, and then while they were leaving, that boy, by mistake, unintentionally, he stepped on his mother's feet, unintentionally. Then mother said, quickly, you give Dandavat to me. Give Dandavat to me. Then Parangurudev explained, it was not that mother is out of ego saying, you bow down to me, but for his own good. Because if there will be any like inauspiciousness due to this, then it will not be good for him. So like that, Guru will give Guru mantra to worship Guru not because of that ego, but because he knows that is beneficial for disciple. So on his Vyasa Puja, another which is in the book of Gurudev, he told that in this Upadeshamrita verse we are now hearing, Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, these 6 urges one has to give up or tolerate and engage in the service of Krishna. Then Parangurudev, out of humbleness, out of example, he said, why did Prabhupada keep me in the mat? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote there in Upadeshamrita's commentary that those who did not control these urges, they are not allowed to renounce house. They should do bhajan in house, then they can. So why Prabhupada, though I did not control this, why did he keep me in the mat? He cannot commit any mistake. Why he did that? Then he said, because out of compassion, Prabhupada knew that without sadhu sangha, without hearing devotional scriptures from the mouth of sadhus, that greatness of God and that devotion for him will not be awakened. And without devotion, it will be impossible to control those urges. Because when one gets higher taste by engaging in devotional service, then only it is possible to give up that lower taste. So Prabhupada knew, although in the beginning there may be some difficulty in controlling, but ultimately they will succeed by getting higher taste. That is why our Gurudev also told, before in India, every house was like a mat. They were doing some kind of worship, everyone doing, and under Tulsi, they would sit and do Harinam, hearing Ramayana, Mahabharata, every house. But then when this foreign culture came, then cinema, television, all these things came, and they gradually lost those things. So Prabhupada saw in future what will happen. Already started to happen, but it will be more in future. So he saw that in some cases it will be difficult to do devotion in house, because there will so many obstacles and so many baits and attraction, all these things. So there should be one place where sadhus where one can get sadhu sangha and can worship Krishna according to scripture and will get that strength, though he may not yet control those 6 urges. Still Prabhupada admitted everyone who was inclined to serve Krishna. He knew there may be some difficulties in the beginning or some problem, but we will tolerate that for the sake of giving them scope, opportunity to worship, like a fortress. That the sadhu sangha is like a fortress where we get strength, and that is so important. Sadhu sangha sarva shastra koi labha matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi koi. Once in England, but I don't know which place, either Brighton or Birmingham, these two. Then one devotee, she asked our Gurudev, you all know her. She asked, here it is said in this verse, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, one moment of Sadhu Sangha can give perfection, all perfection. So what is the meaning here? What kind of sadhu sangha is this? That by one moment. Then Gurudev replied that when we get sadhu sangha, real sadhu sangha, then we get the clue why we are in this world, why we have to suffer, what is our real identity, what is our real duty, function, and all this we come to know. But if we did not execute that instruction of sadhu, then we cannot get that. But any moment we may execute. That moment when we will execute, we will get that perfection. So following sadhu's instruction, that is also included in sadhu sangha. Otherwise, it will not work. And Guru said, but we should not be disheartened. Even little sadhu sangha means there are degrees of how much one progressed. And Gurudev gave one example. One was staying in our mat, brahmachari, but after some time he got married. He could not remain in the mat and was doing their bhajan in one village, but no one knew. Then one time when Gurudev was in preaching program, he came to that village, but he did not know that he's there. So Gurudev speaking Harikatha, and then some locals, those who were hearing, they said, yes, in our village there is also one very learned like you. I think you should meet him. Then Gurudev met him and he saw, oh, there's that brahmachari. So though he could not remain in the mat, but still, if getting some sadhu sangha, he got so much that he was the biggest scholar there in that village. And also while in household life, he was not engaged in all those enjoyments and all this, staying separately and doing bhajan. And another example, just 1 minute, I know time is finished. He said in one village, only farmers there, but one boy had a desire to get some education. Then father somehow he could manage to collect some money and he was sent to school. Then up to 5th or 6th class he could remain, then he was repeatedly failing. He could not go further. When he came back to the village, then all villagers, they would ridicule him. You wanted to become learned, you went there, you failed. So then one day from government, some paper came, and in English that time. No one could understand what is the meaning. Then they called that boy, and he could understand that government is saying at this date you have to give this much tax, otherwise we will take all your land. So though he failed in school, could not completely finish, but that was not totally black and white lost. How much you got, that has value. So this was very valuable. Like that, Guru said that person could not remain in Gaudiya Math, but still he was like so-called failure in Gaudiya Math, but in that village he was topmost. So how much sadhu sangha we did and how much we practiced, that is never in vain. And when we will completely follow, means unconditional surrender to Krishna, then that moment will get all perfection. So sadhu sangha does not mean only coming close to sadhu and hearing, but applying their teaching. So that moment when we will apply, that will give us result. So tomorrow we will hear about Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj, his disappearance day, and also Kashishwar and Bhugarva Gosai.